Good morning. So today I want to introduce you to three iPad apps that you may or may not currently be using, and that is Pages, Notability, and Explain Everything, these three down here. They're currently being used in the 6th grade, and we hope to incorporate them in the 7th and the 8th grade as well. They're great tools for use as teachers, but also for students as well. So I'm going to go into Pages first, and Pages is you can use it just as kind of a basic Word document, but it's a little bit more than just that. So if I click on Create a New Document, you can see here there's just kind of some basic templates, but I can also do some reports. If I scroll down even further, there are some flyers and posters. You can do a brochure, some birthday cards if we were going to get into that. But say that I wanted to have my students do a quick flyer kind of showing what they had learned on a subject that we were studying. So if I click on this school poster right here, it opens up and you can see it has various placeholders where it's already inserted pictures. So I'm going to borrow from a book that Andrew Daniels' class studies, The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle, and every time I see a plus, I'm going to click on that little plus and it's going to access my pictures that I've downloaded off the internet that have gone into my camera roll here. So I'm going to click on these pictures and there's Charlotte Doyle there. Here's another plus and I'm going to again grab another picture and I'm going to scroll over here, click the plus, and let's get one more. Let's get Ave. Now this one here I've decided, I'm going to delete this one. And I'm actually going to click my plus over here and I'm going to put in some text. And I'm going to move my text box over here and I'm going to click in the box and I'm going to name this, I don't know, My True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle Information Sheet, we'll call it, for lack of a better idea. Okay. And I can see here, if I take this and I highlight my text over here, I can go down to the bottom and I can make it a little bit bigger if I want to do that. I can center it very easily. Okay, again, I'm just using my finger to make all these changes. Over here, I may decide, okay, I don't want to have that there. I can just highlight it and I can maybe change this to character introduction. And I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to click this picture here. I'm going to bring in one more picture. We'll bring in Mr. Hollybrass. And I'm going to select this here. And I'm going to cut that. And let's put in some more text. We'll make it, this color this time. And over here, in there, so this is Mr. Hollybrass. And you can see that within a short period of time, I've actually created a little flyer, and I won't go into any more detail, but I've put in my pictures, I've added some text, and I've done it in kind of I've let the, if I was a student, I've done it in kind of a creative way, and I've done it in probably about 3 minutes. And now I could send this off, I could post it in Haiku, or however I was doing it. So this is just a little bit of how a student could play around in Pages, and actually how you could create something. You could design something yourself where you could fill in the blanks. So I could start to create an assignment here and send it to my students and have them fill in some information that I wanted them and then have them send it back to me. So I'm going to go actually now I'm going to close out of Pages and I'm going to talk about Notability. So what Notability is kind of a fun tool to use also for taking notes, but it's also a tool that you can use for annotation. So it's a nice way to organize your notes. So you can see along here along the side I have English, iPad training, algebra. So these are various subjects that I've created. So it's always good to set up subjects that you've done. But what I've done is I have created a document as a teacher, and I've actually sent it, so I'm a student here, I've actually sent it to my students as a PDF, and they can now open it up, and what they're able to do is they can obviously read the PDF, but they can use the tools along the top. So they could use this highlighting tool, and if they saw something that was interesting, they could go through and they could highlight anytime they saw something they wanted to. They could highlight. Okay, go through and highlight. You can also have them use, if I go down here, so if I had something where they needed to fill something in, they could use, there's a T for typing, but there's also a little pencil. So if I was going to have them type something in, so that's kind of a thick tip. So if I hold on it, I can make it a little bit narrower here. I'll make it a little narrow. Okay, and do that. So I'll click over in here. So Charlotte. And again, I'm just using my finger right on this document. Okay, if I scroll up here, maybe again we have, I don't know, we'll just put Doyle. Again, I'm just kind of as showing you as an example. But they're able to annotate right on top of the document that you have sent them. And this is just a PDF that they have downloaded off of my Haiku site, and I'm having them enter a response in. Or I'm having them take the little T, and I'm having them click over here, and I'm having them actually type in the response that I want them to type in. Okay. If I want them to actually do it nicer, I'd go over here to my little plus key, and I would have them put a little typing grid over, and I could have them type a nice response so that I could read it. Okay, and again, hasn't taken long for them to do that. And then I could use this as they could use it for note taking. I could use it to test their knowledge of what we were talking about. I could also, if I wanted them to take a picture of something while we were taking notes, if I were drawing something up on the board, I could click my plus key. I could have them take a picture. I'm in my exciting office, so have them take a picture. Use the photo. And I would just move that over here on the side, make it a little smaller. There's Jess. Hi, Jess. Okay, make that a little bit smaller and put that over here in the corner so that I have a picture of what we were talking about on the board, and it's here with my notes that I've been taking on my screen. Okay, so you can think about ways that a lot of times this is not even something different that you need to be doing, but you could take a document that you already have and use it to your advantage, where you can send it to them and they can insert their responses. This also has, Notability also has a little recording device. So if I use the little button up here at the top, now I'm recording what I'm talking about. So if you wanted to have them actually record something, it will capture, and okay, and it will play back what is happening on this particular page. So it's tied to that page. Okay. All right, and it saves that there, and it's nicely in my English folder. Okay, and if I wanted to move that, I can move that around. So that's Notability. Explain Everything. If I go into Explain Everything, what this is kind of a fun thing. This is a screencasting tool, and if I click on the plus, I'll show you what that does. I'll go in here. So I have a nice blank canvas that I'm looking at now, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add in a picture for my background. So I'm going to go into my camera roll here, and let me see if I can find something. Well, let's see. Let me go back. Go to my photo stream and see if I can find a picture to put on the background. So let's take the boat, and I'm going to have that fill the entire screen. I'm just using my fingers, and click on Done, and I'm going to click this little guy here. Okay, and I'm going to have that set to the background. So now this is my background, and what I'm doing, and this is the actual one that I did when I first introduced this to Mr. Daniel's class, is we set this to the background. We added some text along the top, so I'm going to put in my title, My True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle. Okay, make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, if I want to go back in here, I can hold on to the side here. Okay, I can change that a little bit and make it a different font. Okay, there we go. Fine. I don't think I changed it, but we'll go with it. Okay, if I wanted to add some more pictures, I could add some more pictures. Again, this has a recording feature. So what makes this nice is I can actually record what's going on if I wanted to. So if I put some more pictures in there, so let me just take in one more picture. Oops, I keep fixing. Let's do photo stream again. So let me get Charlotte Doyle in there, and we'll click on done, and I can get her, kind of move her around. So there's Charlotte. So if I had something that I wanted to add in here, so I was recording something about Charlotte Doyle. She grew up quickly in the summer of the year 1832. Done. Okay, so we got, so this is now recorded here. So what I end up doing is I can kind of, so this is now, sound is now tied to this particular slide. I can go and I can insert a new slide when I'm ready to do that. So if I go now I'm on slide 2. So I can start creating a whole little presentation here that has sound tied to it, and I'm basically on a whiteboard. Where this makes it nice is, so you can use it in that regard. You can also use your pen. So if I start recording here, so I'm going to record, I'm going to do 1 + 1 = 2, and I'm going to stop it. Okay, and that actually is recorded back for me. So when I hit the record button and I started to use my pencil, it actually wrote it back for me. So where that could be potentially nice in a different subject, such as math or something more complicated, is I could do my diagram before class even started, hit my play button, play and pause, or I could actually be doing this problem in class, and then I could send this particular slide to somebody that wasn't there in class. So it's a nice little record feature that's available. And I can send this out to people. If I click over here, I can export this to, I have a little option, I can export to the camera as a YouTube, or there's some other options. So I can take this movie that I've made of this particular function that I've done, or this math problem, or whatever it is, and send that out. So there's a lot of functionality that you can do in Explain Everything. So although it was quick, just a little preview on some of the kind of the 3 most popular apps that that we've been using this year, playing around with anywhere, and that's Pages for kind of your Word document type things, but again, a little bit more robust and maybe a little bit more creative, if you will. Notability for a fun note-taking tool, an annotation tool, and then Explain Everything for that whiteboard recording type functionality. So I hope you have fun and we'll explore those, and don't worry, much more training to come.